So y'all know Monique was supposed to be a part of Traitors. I do remember when that first light went down. Okay. It was some details coming out saying, hey, Monique was supposed to be on Traitors. I had already heard that she was going to be on there before the news had came out. I was just waiting on them to say that she was going to do it, right? Well, when it came out, Monique came back and said, that's not necessarily true. But she was kind of wording the comment as though people were just making stuff up. And I'm like, that's not necessary. That's not like, ain't nobody really making that up. So then we get into more details. They said Candiace, Dillard, and Monique Samuels were both allegedly supposed to join Traitors. They said, but Candiace allegedly pulled out due to pregnancy risk, forcing producers to rescind Monique's offer. And I think this is where Monique probably got more hung up on, where it was like, y'all trying to make it seem like y'all took my offer. Like, no, I declined that motherfucker. Don't play that. And then Robin Dixon was in talks of joining. And I do believe that Robin Dixon is on the new season. Okay, so a rep for Monique came forward at that time and says that she passed on the opportunity, wanted to be very clear they didn't take nothing from her on behalf of somebody else. She declined, okay, because they couldn't afford her. Now we're also learning when she speaks more on it that it's not just they couldn't afford her, but they was trying to be messy too. Okay, so let's get into what Monique had to say about this particular situation.
So here's what happened with the Traitors. I considered doing the show. I was really excited about it. Number one, let me back up and just say that I didn't realize that the Traitors was like NBC Universal. I don't watch TV. So when the opportunity came about, my manager reached out and was like, hey, would you want to do the Traitors? And I'm like, what is it? It's like a competition challenge kind of show. And like Fear Factor meets Mind Games and this, that, and that. I was like, oh, that sounds fun. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm interested. Put my name in it. So then I started watching all the old episodes. Then I realized, like, oh, this is NBC Universal. Oh, they have housewives on here. Oh, okay, this is interesting. But then still I was down. So I heard that they wanted me to be on the show. I said, okay, let's do it. We started talking numbers. I was like, for me to go away for that period of time, I need to make sure the money's good. And I also need to make sure, because I have children, I have 3 kids, and I have a home, and I have a dog, and I have a parrot. So I'm like, I got to make sure that it makes sense for me to leave my job for a whole month or however long. It needs to make sense, right? So that was one concern. Then you know how it is with reality TV stuff. It is always last minute. They act like you don't have a life outside of whatever it is they're trying to do. And I just was like, you know what? They're taking too long. If they don't come back with something really soon and respond to whatever, raising their offer and give me some better numbers, then I'm not gonna be able to do it. And that's pretty much what happened. But then on the back end, I heard about some shady stuff that was going on. Mm-hmm. So apparently they were trying to put me and Candiace from RHOP on the Traitors at the same time. I didn't know that she was pregnant. I didn't know that she was supposed to be on the show. And the only reason that I found out is because my manager is well connected. And we started finding out all of this stuff. And I'm like, first of all, that's low down to try to put a pregnant woman in that position. That's jacked up, number one. Second of all, I don't even know why a person that's pregnant would even do that show or want to do that show, because it's a lot of physical challenges and stuff in there. So I thought that was weird. But regardless, I'm like, why would you try to take something from a totally different show and try to make it something that could potentially be very nasty? Mm-hmm. When I watched the first and second season of the Traitors, and I watched the other Traitors, like Traitors UK, all of that, it wasn't about their personal lives. It was more about just the show in itself. And if you get picked as a traitor and if you're faithful and all of that. And I thought that was so much fun. I actually was really excited about the opportunity and being able to do the show. But once I started finding out all of the shady shenanigans that were also going on behind the scenes, and they couldn't afford me. So I was just like, I'm not doing this. And then once I found out about all the shady stuff that was going on, I was like, you know what? Let them know that I decline not only this season, but every other season. Like, I'm not doing it at all now, because now you turned me off. And that is what you call boundaries. And that's what I now have. And I love that. I love that I don't have to do stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't feel obligated to do anything that I'm not excited about. So that took the excitement away, because it was almost like y'all were trying to be shady and set things up in a way that was just like, because when you get there, you don't know who else is going to be there until you land. So I thought that was really like low down, especially because everybody knows that that situation is very sensitive. And
I just have to interrupt. I'm sorry. I have to interrupt. I have to, because I'm going to forget everything I need to say by the time Monique finish. First of all, I think they should have to pay more money off the simple fact that they would even want her on the show with Candiace, knowing the dynamics of what happened between them in the past and the damn audience. Okay, I feel like they should get paid off that off rip. I don't blame her for wanting to negotiate more. You would have to take time away from your job. That's probably not going to pay you, as they're going to have to probably pay the other people that's filling in for your position during that time that you're away, on top of having them kids. Now granted, I do feel like Chris would have accommodated her accordingly, but I see nothing wrong with her wanting to get more money out of them, but more so because you want her to deal with the stress of that. Now granted, they could have went on this show and it actually could have been a real good bonding moment for them, possibly to overcome, because you're having these different challenges. You might be able to push past that, okay? Or it could have made the situation worse, because the game is about trusting and not trusting, and somebody being a traitor, somebody being the faithful. It's a lot of different things that, you know, go into that. But Candiace is pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I believe they may have approached Candiace with it, and I don't think Candiace ever took it because she was pregnant, you know? So the fact that they were trying to negotiate that, I feel like the conversation came up, but I don't know if Peacock fully knew that Candiace was pregnant. I think she could have been keeping it tight vest, but I don't think she gave them a final answer on whether she was going to do it or not. Right. And that could be because she was waiting to make the announcement herself, and she probably didn't want a lot to slip through the cracks or whatnot. So I don't know, but ultimately I do think that that's messy as fuck. Messy as hell. And I think those ladies, not just Monique, but Candiace too, they both should get paid a good amount of money to go on there with the host. That could potentially result in them getting into another heated situation again. Like, hell no, y'all not gonna be paying somebody crumbs, but y'all making all this money off of these folks' image and brand and stuff being a part of yours. Like, no. So I can't disagree with Mo on that. Like, give me my fucking coin. You trying to play with me? The other thing I wanted to say is I find it very interesting. Not gonna hold y'all. That Monique said that she's at a place where she can turn things down and she's not all excited. Like, I don't have to do stuff. And I said that is so funny that now you're not with Chris, you ain't got to do shit, right? But when you was married to him, you was ready to do Real Housewives of Potomac again and again. You was ready to do Love and Marriage DC, and then now that you divorced from him, you ain't got to do shit. Let me tell y'all something. Monique getting a good check to sit the hell at home if she want to. It's what it seems like to me. So, I mean, maybe she getting paid more to not be with him than it was. Maybe it was cheaper for him to keep her. All right. But it's probably looking more better for her to not have kept him. Either way, good luck.
highly doubt that if it was two white women that from another like housewife show, I highly doubt that they would put them in that position. So you ain't gonna be doing us black queens like that. Like, I don't care. Whatever they think might have happened behind the scenes or in front of the scenes, when it came to that situation, that's what I'm not about to do. Not at this day and age and this time in my life. So I was like, nope, ain't going down. Not gonna do it. You're not about to have black women on TV looking crazy. Not on my watch ever again. So that's my position on that. And that's actually what went down. So it was like a double-edged sword. Number one, they couldn't afford me. And number two, they were trying some shady stuff, which made me say, I'm not ever doing that show. So, and it would have been really cool because I do like stuff like that. Like, I love like challenges and like mind games and all of that, trying to figure things out. And, you know, so I thought that would have been like a fun opportunity, and I was down for it until they came with the mess. So I don't deal with the mess. So if they still ain't figured it out, they're going to find out now.
And there's that, okay? So I don't really fault Mo on that. Like, girl, I probably wouldn't do this shit either. Y'all trying to play on my top. I'm tired at this point, okay? I'm tired, okay? So there's that. She probably was doing them shows as a great escape from Chris anyway. And then now she ain't really got to escape that no more. So it is what it is, all right?